just throw it out there and see what happens. That's like what love is, right? You know, it's getting cheesy now, but
Yeah,
it,
but Chris, have you ever considered that I'm an incel virgin and don't understand that shit?
uh,
Love that. Dodge. Sidestep.
bro, she's waiting for it. Do it,
Oh! Oh!
There you go.
Oh!
There you go.
Let's
And
go!
on that day, progress was made.
Oh, he's not. He's got it. Oh my lord.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
So
Okay.
Ram lost.
Damn it.
I wonder if they're dead.
When you send away two of your friends to die so you can get that pussy.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Just super
facts.
sick.
Big facts.
Oh, I feel strange about that. Like in the real world, I feel like that was very toxic on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that just me?
True.
Okay.
No, that's
I
not you.
feel very similar.
So,
All right. I did not feel good about that.
why?
Like, it's cool that our main character finally gets the buns or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
I didn't feel good about that at all.
Why specifically?
Here,
It was like, yo, bitch, I'ma kiss you. If you don't want that, then don't. But like,
yeah.
I'll try to put it into words.
What?
I'll try to put it into words. The biggest thing about this that has always fucked with me in this series, especially their romance, and I will grant you this, I don't have the entire timeline in my head. From Subaru's point of view, I am 100% in and why he's like all for this bitch. You know what I mean? Like he's been through thick and thin. He chose her as the reason that he's gonna keep fucking living in this world and have a new life. And then he has had all these experiences, dying, living, pretty much for her end. Technically, after every death, her memories are reset, and there is only a single one of those timelines where the interactions between Subaru and this girl are like canon for their relationship. And so the fact that it is still so one-sided, really, in this moment where he gets the puss, I'm glad, and it's refreshing in the sense that an anime character actually finally fucking went for it. But the side effect is that I get why he goes for it and has it all from his side, but it doesn't feel super reciprocated, and especially when it's being reciprocated by somebody who is missing, like, literally probably 90% of the relationship that he has built up in his head between them. It makes it feel weird. It was a great little monologue, and parts that had me like, I'm like, oh, it's so cute. And then I keep going, wait, but does she care or understand this? Especially because she, like, gives up on the whole, why did you leave me pretty fucking quickly. He literally hits her with the, I can't tell you.
I think what else is about it is that, I don't know, maybe you all see it this way as well. I'm assuming you would. She's in a very emotionally vulnerable spot. Like,
that's for me what it is.
that it feels, I can't think of a better word than this, so I'm just going to say it feels predatory.
It's exploitative, maybe is the word.
Yeah. So
Better word.
that was the point that I was going to make. And also, let's not forget the fact that she explicitly states that I don't want this. I never asked for you to do any of this. And that's fair. And he put in him knowing that she is in that emotionally exploitative state, pushes forward saying, well, and uses some like recursive logic to try to justify it. And she just goes with it because that's what she wants to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
So kind of add onto that, Alex, one of the things that bothered me about this monologue was that he kept saying, like, she was giving all these reasons about, why she can't do the trial, why she can't go through with a lot of her motives that she set out to try and do. And he just kept on responding back with, well, I'll always be on your side because I love you.
Right.
But he never like gives any rationale or reasons about why he loves her in the first place.
He gives a
Yeah.
couple
So Rob,
coolers because he thinks she's hot.
well, Rob, I totally agree with you. Like, it
Yeah.
feels like at this point he's forgotten why he fell in love with her, and it's become I love you because I love you, and I'll always be here for you because I love you because I love you. You know what I mean?
And it's because he can't reference it. He would like to reference all these conversations that he had with her that like made them grow really close, but that's only from his fucking side. That's what makes it feel so weird and one-sided.
I almost feel like it's what was that principle you told me this a number of weeks ago, Alex, of where you invest in something for so hard and so long that
Sunken
you feel
cost.
cheated if you invest in something else.
Sunken cost.
Yeah,
Oh, sunken
it
cost.
feels like a sunken cost type of argument.
Like his is a sunken cost argument.
Well, I
JP.
mean, I think that's one way to look at this, right? Is that he's died for her so many times
Yeah.
that at this point, if he divested, right, to Rem or someone else, or said enough is enough, it's a sunken cost argument.
Fair.
Could be.
I mean, I think I could.
JP, some girl comes up to you, JP. She goes, "Yo, JP, we've been hanging out for so long, and it feels like forever, and I love you. I love you." And you're like, "Kind of sus. I don't know you that well. Why do you love me? If you can fucking rail off all these flaws about me. She can rail them off. Why do you love me?" And she goes, "I just love you because I love you." What's your reaction to that?
I mean, so there's a lot of layers to this, right? Yes.
This has happened to JP before.
Yes.
He's a handsome man.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know if it's happened to me in this way, but I think it's refreshing almost to know and understand the flaws of a person, because you love someone despite their flaws, right? So that's kind of what the situation is. What he's bringing up is like, you have these flaws, but I still love you. And he does rail off this long list of like, I love your eyes, I love whenever you speak, like I only want to hear your voice, whatever it is that he said.
Tracts of land.
Huh?
I said, and your huge tracts of land.
Right, of course. I mean, that's always an aspect. But in terms of the emotional, like vulnerable side, yes, she's emotionally vulnerable, but she feels that way because she feels like she's been abandoned, that she's been left alone, right? Her Puck left her, and now he broke the promise that he had made to her to not leave or to like stay with her. So she feels like she's being abandoned, and she's getting all these memories of like the things that she's done in the past. So she's vulnerable, but it's more so that she feels that she's not wanted because those two most important people close to her left, and now all these memories of like how she was a monster have coming back. So I think reminding her that she is loved and cared for despite all of these things is not necessarily predatory.
That's fair.
Because it could be even in just a friend way. Like, yes, I love you as a friend, despite whatever you may have done, despite whatever your memories may have revealed. You're still my friend and I love you. But in his case, it is because it's so, fed by so many lies that he's devoted to her. He just loves her. And I don't think in that sense it's predatory, because he's also been like rearing to do this for many episodes,
That's fair. Spurs, you you were kind of on the fence about it. What are your thoughts? What were dogging you?
I don't feel. I definitely feel like maybe JP's a little bit on my side here, but I don't think it was predatory. I don't think it was very predatory. That may have been how other people perceived it, but kind of what JP was saying, but also, I don't know. You brought up the fact that, yeah, he's been through many lives, and experienced a lot of different Amelia, but at the same time, we've gone how far in this journey with them together. So I feel like the two of them had like a long enough time to actually get to know each other that this wouldn't be so weird. especially based off some of the behavior between the two of them.
That's fair.
But also, I don't know. I guess my biggest thing was imagine like dying over and over for a chick, and then he's just like, you know what, fuck it, I love you. Here you go. Just like I'll spill the beans. There you go. And then, yeah, maybe she doesn't get it fully, but at least he put it out there. I don't know. That's kind of what, like, when you make like when you wear your heart in your sleeve, like you just go for it. You just throw it out there and see what happens. That's like what love is, right? It's getting cheesy now, but
Yeah, but Chris, have you ever considered that I'm an incel virgin and don't understand that shit?
So, I mean, it's crossed my mind, especially especially for you, Connor. No. No, it's mostly. I feel like all of us are pretty in tune with our emotions, and I don't know. I can't imagine. I guess I have to put myself in this particular character, what he's been through, right? We're all watching and going like, bullshit. Like that's what the fuck is wrong with you? But if we were this dude and we've died, I don't know, at this point, 100 times? It's like, fuck
More
it,
than
dude.
that.
I love this bitch. Could you, hey, bitch, I love you. I love you. Is that cool? All right.
Chris, the thing is that I actually agree with you in terms of we only look at this through Subaru. Like, to me, I get exactly where you're coming from with Subaru. Like, dude had a useless fucking life in the real world. Comes this new one, this really hot, really nice girl gives him even the bit smallest light of day. He's like, all right, maybe I'll try to make something of myself in this world. And then he puts in the work all for her sake, and it gets progressively more and more extreme. He goes through life, death, saves the fucking world from flying whales, all for this chick. I get from his perspective. The point of it is, it's hard for me, like, in my mind, and I might just be wrong if somebody could lay out, well, if you really think about what the memories that she actually has of him are these, then I would be more understanding of, like, yeah, this feels like a real connection between two characters that I care about a lot more. And I still think the scene is fine even without this. That's just what's tugging at this, like that small dark voice in my head that's like, the scene isn't perfect, fuck you, like, because of this.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, I mean, it was a nice little
I
monologue.
feel like. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Oh, did I cut out or something?
No.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty much it. It's just that, like, it's not the worst. It's not the worst scene ever, and it was a little bit. It was a classic ReZero, lengthy, wordy explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So it felt like a cross between two different scenes. I feel like that should have happened separately. One is very like loving and emotionally charged confession scene, right? And that's great on its own, and like I don't think we have any problems with that. And then the other scene that it was like a therapist breaking down emotional walls in a world without therapists, right?
Yeah.
And that's also in its own right a great scene. It's just I think it gets hard to interpret or hard to process when the person doing both of those things is the same person and it's happening simultaneously.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
This
that's what makes
what
it-
Jonathan is. Go ahead, Connor.
No, you're good. Take it because I think we're gonna say the same thing.
What Jonathan is saying is, I think, what makes it feel exploitative to me, right? Like, I think that's what made it feel weird. It's that this is a person she is relying on, like, in a lot of ways, and he obviously wants something from her in this emotional way. And that's not to say that you can't have that in a relationship where your partner can't rely on you. I don't want to make that statement. I just think that in this moment, there was something that needed to be dealt with, right? And it was her having this like emotional breakdown from her personal anxiety. And that was not the time, at least from my point of view, to also try to get my dick wet. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And I don't know. The thing is, though, I agree with what JP and Chris are saying here, and that's like where I'm struggling because like he has been through quite a lot. And I think similarly, he has built up a relationship over a long time. And in the real timeline, I think they've been together for quite a while at this point, right? So it makes sense for them to develop a relationship. I guess it just felt like the timing was off. And there was some stuff he was saying and stuff she was saying that I was like, this does not vibe right for let's make out at the end of it, you know?
Past each other too a little bit at some points.
Yeah.
And that's what I think adds to that feeling.
Spurs, are you going to say something?
On the edge of saying something.
Yeah, the ReZero defenders, please come in.
So, yeah.
I mean, so to that point, I guess, I don't know. This might be a really bad cop out, so just call me on it if it. But what's his name? Subaru's only like 17, and
Sure.
Amelia is what, like? I remember it's like she's a lot older than that, but like she doesn't know what love is yet.
No, she's like 19.
I don't know what love
She's like
is.
19, 20.
All right, it's I don't know. There's also the argument to be made that they don't know even like how to time this shit. They don't know what actual timing is. But like I said, that could be a cop out. But at the same time, at 17, can you blame this dude, this Itaku?
I will say that is a cop out, and it's because the way the scene frames it, it's not framed as an awkward 17-year-old fucking up and exploiting an emotionally vulnerable woman. Sorry to
I will
be
say,
sorry to be pants. What
from
was
like
that?
a mental, I guess, attention perspective, it was nice to have an episode that was easier to process, that we didn't really have to
Yes.
think a lot about and form like our theories. It was very straightforward, and I liked that. It's a nice break before hopefully we get a lot more
I agree.
complex and valuable information. I liked that. I appreciated it.
Here's also one more piece I would like to say regarding the whole Subaru Amelia thing. So, I don't know how you guys feel about I remember the last time we talked about this. We all had different feelings about like the Subaru Amelia ship and then the Subaru Rem ship. I don't know if that's changed for you guys, but for me, I still think that just from a character development perspective, Amelia's the best character for him. Now, that's not the thing that I want to argue. I'm qualifying my statement because I can see where everybody's coming from. And I'm also kind of wishy-washy about whether this situation was exploitative or not. But the thing that I think really is at the heart of my discomfort with this scene is none of those things. It is the fact that even though I think their relationship is the best one for Subaru, I never found their relationship believable to begin with. Like, don't get me wrong, he drops into this isekai world. He sees this girl, and he's like, she's hot. I would die. I would literally die 1,000 deaths for this girl. That's not believable to me personally. And this girl who comes from a society where people are like freaking like backstabbing each other. There's magic involved. There's no credibility is so hard to come by. This random dude waltzes up in here with his tracksuit, and she's like, yes, I'm gonna place a modicum of trust in this man. And so that's always, I feel like that's really where my discomfort of the scene lies, because it just brings up that as the foundation for their relationship to me once more. And I think that's my issue with it.
Hold up. It wasn't that black and white. There was a lot of buildup.
Like what?
She did not trust him at all initially. She didn't want anything to do with him. But he had the mission of finding the thing for the other girl, and
That's fair.
asked for her help to go with him. And it slowly it built. They started a friendship, and the friendship became more adventures, and the adventures through memories, and the memories became relations and all that stuff. So it's been a slow process. That's why it's season 3, and we're finally seeing there's season 4. I don't even know what season we're on anymore.
It's 2 but yeah.
Part 2, so season 4. So it's it's been a while, right? And it's been slowly building up.
Yes, that was my point earlier. Yes,
that's fair. Okay, That's fair, but
No, Alex, stick to your guns on this.
no, I'm still no, Connor. I still feel the way I feel, but I understand where they're coming from.
Because
Wait, all right, so let JP finish. Let JP finish.
So the last thing is the moment where she's saying, "Why did you leave?" Like that scene when he left, she was in her bed, I believe, and asked him to stay with her in her bed to comfort her throughout the night. That's when he left because he couldn't stay because he had to do something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
So that already paints a scene where she's comfortable enough to have him and ask for him to stay with her in her bed at night, which is something that has not even been remotely, touched on in terms of like closeness in this show.
Not in her bed, just beside her bed, but the point still stands.
That's still really close.
There's a pretty big difference.
Don't just
No, that's true.
There
that's
is a
true.
big
It's still-
difference, but the point still stands.
This is
Yeah.
this is a Christian group chat, okay? So let us keep it PG. Okay.
Shit. Edit out my bad words. Edit out my bad words. I didn't say those bad words.
Hey,
Josh, you had something you were gonna say.
Yeah, Josh, you're
Yeah,
gonna
but wait, let's make Josh the last one because if not, we'll talk forever and we'll get to no other shows.
True. I just wanted to put out there, because I know that this was a straightforward episode, but this feels like it heavily supports the theory that she straight up just is the witch.
Facts. It
felt like, why do you love me? Because I love you, and I'm gonna believe in you forever, no matter what happens to you. And then something happens to her, and they get separated, and then he comes back into the past, and she's like, "Oh, I need to protect the man that said he will love me forever, no matter what." And that's just her, and that just feels like that's it to me.
Yeah.
Right?
They've already established parallel universes, and that's where I'll leave it. Yeah.
That's so true.
So we established like the parallel universes, time travel, and shit like that, and like I feel like on top of the sort of pieces we put together last week, where it would make sense for her to get the witch to get sealed in ice for all this time, and it also would make sense for people to not say she looks exactly like the witch, but say she has the features of the witch because it's been passed down in like mythology for 400 years and shit. All that is like feels like it's coming together.
Exactly.
Really.
It's so nice.
All right. This won't cause a discussion, so I don't mind throwing it in there last second, but I will hate myself if I don't bring it up.
Cool.
People, if you are writing and you write in a metaphor into your fucking show, do not then say the metaphor out loud and completely ruin it.
Facts.
Because I was about to give this episode so much credit for that Odo scene, because like I picked on it right away when he's in his mother's arms, like you're in the womb, crying. It's like I immediately went, and then he goes, and that was the first time I cried since I'd been born. I went, oh, cool. It's a parallel between being born and crying. That's a fucking great scene. It's like the family's in the bedroom, mom cradles him, cries. It's like, that's sick. Then even later, it's like he's in a dark, damp place, like a fucking womb, and somebody comes in and cuts his theoretical umbilical cord, and he gets up and cries again. And as he starts crying, I'm like, dude, the rules
You're
of
totally
three,
right.
fucking fantastic, good job, reading. And then it's like, I get it, I cry every time I'm reborn.